Las Vegas. I am so glad you are with us. This is our biggest conference ever, the 55th year, and this year there are almost 50,000 people in attendance. I'm Adam Johnson. I'm your host here on HIMSSTV, and over the next several days we're going to bring you live content several hours every day, interviews with people who are making a difference, who are saving lives, who are coming up with solutions to put all that data to work so that we lower healthcare costs. There are just so many themes. Security, how do we make all that data secure? These are the types of issues we're going to be wrestling with, and I can assure you we're all going to learn a lot together. So I tell you what, let me get right to our first guest. He is Chuck Webster. He is president of EHR Workflow, and he's also a HIMSS social ambassador. You are a man who has found religion, and you have come to the mountain.
Adam, great to be here. And I came to the mountain in 1994 for the first time. That was my first HIMSS conference, and I've come to most of them since, and everyone is better than the last.
Yeah, I mean, this one in particular, this year, I mean, the excitement is incredible. You're excited about artificial reality in healthcare.
Yes.
Explain to me, and you even brought some goggles as a visual cue. I'm afraid to put those on. I'll let you do it. But how do you use it?
Well, virtual reality is about creating an environment in which, while you are looking through the virtual reality goggles, you feel as if you're in the environment. Virtual reality is useful for example, helping with pain management, so children can be distracted from pain by playing games. It's useful for training. You can greatly accelerate the speed with which you train through repetition of doing the thing in virtual reality.
In other words, I'm a doctor. I am practicing a certain procedure. I can put on the goggles and...
Exactly. In fact, there are situations where they scan the patient and then the doctor can actually look at the virtual representation and look inside the patient as if they were Superman or woman.
Amazing, and obviously it's all in 3D, so it's real, as opposed to the old original stuff that was not. How about hospital design?
That's because of my workflow. I'm sort of Dr. Workflow in healthcare.
That's your Twitter handle,
Twitter,
Dr. Workflow, at Dr. Workflow.
Yeah, if you search for that, Wareflow, W-A-R-E-F-L-O, no W at the end.
Right.
But we're almost to the point where a hospital architect could design a healthcare building or system or structure, push a button, and it becomes a virtual structure which people can go through and actually simulate the patient experience and understand the steps of the workflow to improve it.
All right, so I'm going to think outside the box here. Let's say I am a designer of those high-tech rolling beds, right, with all the different systems in them. It's a little bit wider than usual. I could take those specs, put it into an AR environment, and see if we can get through the doorways.
Perfect. That's a wonderful example.
I made that up.
On the spot.
But yeah, well, we're learning here at HIMSS. So as you walk around the show floor over the next many hours and several days, what's your message to people as you try to talk about AR and how to introduce it into their business?
Sure. I call this the 3D-ness in healthcare. The 3D, 3D printing, virtual reality, both involve digital representations of three-dimensional objects that can then be printed into the real world or actually scanned and viewed in the virtual world. So there's this tremendous opportunity to simulate and to improve complicated systems.
Understood. And you're also leading a couple of panels, correct?
Panels in virtual reality. In fact,
of course.
If you go to Twitter and you go to HIMSSVR, HIMSS for virtual reality, hashtag before that, for 2 hours yesterday and 2 hours tomorrow and 2 hours the next day, in virtual reality. If you have a headset, great. If you don't, you don't need it. People from all over the world yesterday, 25 people from Egypt, Istanbul, all over the US, people who couldn't be at HIMSS got to participate and have a HIMSS virtual experience in social virtual reality.
And actually that's part of the reason why we're doing HIMSSTV. For everyone who actually can't be here, we are your here. So
and guess what? And guess what? We had a 10-minute loop of you playing in the background.
I'm sorry.
30 or 40 times. We eventually turned the sound down, but the first time everybody was quite rapt.
Paying attention. All right. Before I let you go, what's the first thing you're going to do when you leave us here at HIMSSTV and walk into the incredible conference room floor that's just 50 feet away from us?
Well, I've been hearing incredible things about Intermountain, and they're doing some really cool VR stuff. I don't know much about it yet, but I have Janae, your next guest, to thank for putting me onto that, and that's where I'm going to go.
Intermountain is based out of Utah. What is it, a healthcare system?
A healthcare system that's known for innovation and coming to HIMSS and telling people about its best practices.
And they are enthused about AR, presumably, which is why you're
and
going.
virtual reality, yes. In fact, they've invited me to come there and maybe do my social virtual reality from their booth, which is fantastic.
Right. Well, I tell you, what a pleasure to speak with you, Chuck.
Thank you, Adam.
We can tune into your specific panel when?
Tomorrow from 3 to 5, and the day after from 3 to 5. And if you search for #HIMSS VR,
well, you're like a regular commercial.
You will find lots of links out there. You download the software to your PC or your Mac, and even if you're here, find yourself a little booth or a cubbyhole and participate in what's really a cool virtual reality experience.
Oh, it really is. Okay, Chuck, thank you.
Thank you, Adam.
All right.